Where can I find new metal music, as in right now? That's the $1,000,000 metalhead question, right? The answer, my friends, is right here and right now. If you need more extreme metal music for your library, stick around. I have something awesome for you today. Stay tuned. Terry here again with Cast Metal and another full metal review segment. If you like the type of music that is in the list right here next to me, this show is for you. Here you'll find the newest, most extreme releases reviewed and analyzed every single day. And a recap, episode 25, I reviewed 3 albums: Stonehorn's album Chimera, Rituals of the Dead Hands, The Wretched and the Vile, and Scarlet Rot's self-titled album. And I added all 3 of them to my library. Check out yesterday's episode for a full breakdown if you are new here, okay? Today, our headline album up for review is Dissimulator, and the album is Lower Form Resistance. And a bonus, everybody, stick around to the end and I'll sweeten the pot by giving you a second extreme metal recommendation from my own collection as well, just as a thank you for watching today's show. So let's start the full metal review show. And to make it interesting, it may help if you open the album on your streaming platform to follow along, because I only use numbers when it comes to the tracks, and that's where I'll stop explaining, okay? So open up and follow along. Before I listened to the album, I opened the page to see that there were 7 strong-sounding tracks totaling 41 minutes. The album cover artwork, as you can see, is this absolutely fitting, beautiful black and white mechanical scene of a machine attached to a female face. This is really wicked stuff. And there are no fonts, so I added the name of the album and the band at the bottom here, as you can see. In Apple Music, it is categorized as death and black metal. My first impression has me visualizing something more, I don't know, heavy and beastly. Right now, I'm going to predict the actual genre to be more deathcore or in the tech death range, just by looking at the album. And we'll see after I've heard the album if I was on point, as a matter of fact, okay? I'll reveal the bio only after I've listened to the album toward the end of this show, okay, for comparison. So moving ahead, track number 1. It opens fast, but it is not what I expected. It was thrashing, furious, and growling. It had mad death metal styled era vocals, while track 2 just rips with chugging range and rhythm and speed. It was nice. Track 3, it's a kaleidoscope of energy, power, and a lot of snarl. Next, track 4 has blinding speed, ranging harmonies, solos, and a ton of bite to it. While track 5 itself builds from a dazzling guitar instrumental to all-out lightning speed and head-spinning range. Then track 6, it explodes into, again, thrashing, frenzied, sonic, rangy speed, and very, very deep. And finally, track 7 is, again, it's thrash metal in full color with death metal overtones, and it's brutal, blistering, and it has slashing rhythms, okay? This album is actually crazy and bizarre and very enjoyable. The sound quality was very clear, while production and musicality was raw, but it was also very smart. The energy and intensity was very high, while the rhythm and tempo was immense, rangy, and it was varied all the way through. The lyrical theme here is future tense. Again, if you're following along, you will see by the song titles what I'm talking about. Becoming a mainstream act here is not a possibility, okay? For all of you metal warriors out there, fear not. This album will not wind up on the radio. I don't think that that's where they want to go. The range and flow of the album, it seems very scattered, and the tracks are arranged awkwardly, but they fit. They remind me a lot of an older band, Voivod, that came out in the 80s around the early Metallica time and so on and so forth. They're also from uh, Voivod is actually, I believe that they're from Quebec as well. They're a Canadian group, and I think that they still exist, actually. Matter of fact, they do exist. I just downloaded their album last year. What am I even talking about? So, as far as individual performances, I describe the vocals as quite beastly. It's a death metal type growling vocals, while the guitars I can only describe as furious, razor sharp, and it's got solid presence, rhythms, and solos all the way through. The bass section was crushing and enormous and accurate. And finally, the drums and percussion, it was full, rangy, blindingly fast. And there were no samples, no sound bites, and no sound effects whatsoever present throughout this whole thing. So, in summary, my prediction from earlier, they were somewhat off, okay? Basically, I had clenched teeth, was all the way through this entire album. And the tonality and shade I gave this album was a mix of light and dark. And the overall color or colors could only be described as white, as in white hot. With a temperature reading on the hot side and a seismic reading of about 8.5 on the Richter scale, I thought that it might be best to actually keep this album to myself and on my headphones, maybe away from my wife. And so the final reveal that I've got is there is definitely a death metal element in there, but it is mainly a thrash type band, and it is highly technical. So the death tech prediction, it holds water. My favorite tracks were 2 and 7. And is it going to go into my library? You bet it is. So I look now and I see on the bio online here that Dissimulator is a tech death thrash metal band. Wow, okay. From Montreal, Quebec, formed in 2021 with only one release on Apple Music. Okay, they're probably neighbors with Voivod. Sorry to get funny there. So I guess I was lukewarm when I predicted death tech, but I couldn't call thrash metal for the life of me. And that is it, my friends. So, oh yeah, time for your bonus. Okay, so let's give you a little extra thank you here. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to pull out, how about Thy Art is Murder, their new album, Godlike. Yeah, that sounds about right. And that's it for today, my friends. I am going to sign off right now with a quick reminder for everyone to please support your favorite metal artists. Okay, please stream them, buy the merch, go see them live, and join me again soon for another episode of Full Metal Reviews. And finally, don't forget to subscribe if you want some brand new music in your library. So subscribe, engage, follow the links, and set up notifications so you can get your album recommendation first, okay? So everybody, happy Monday. Cheers, and we will see you next time.